What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
And today on The Great Debaters, we're getting into a little Tupac. We know y'all love it, but how do you want it? Here we go. Alright, Amir. So today on The Great Debaters, we're looking back at one of the best-selling, most acclaimed, most revered albums of all time. Tupac, All Eyes on Me, came out in '96. First release on Death Row, and it includes one of the most notable collaborations of both Tupac and Snoop Dogg's career, two of America's Most Wanted. So we're going to debate who has the best verse, or best performance, I should say, on the song and why. So here we go. So Snoop and Tupac obviously were superstars in their own right before Tupac joined Death Row. And then when he joined Death Row, you know, there was already a lot of stuff swirling about the label. People didn't know what was going on. Was Dre there? Was Dre not there? You know, how's this going to affect everything? What was going on with Snoop? Etc., etc., etc. There's a lot of drama and intrigue surrounding Death Row, Tupac, and Snoop all at the same time. And then we get two of America's Most Wanted. Snoop's on trial for murder. Tupac is in and out of prison, just got out of prison, you know, California dreaming. So, Amir, the album comes out after California Love, you know, catapults Tupac into the rap stratosphere in a way that he hadn't had before. It also shows, yet again, that Dr. Dre is the best producer in rap history. And then we get to the All Eyes on Me album, and one of the songs, as you listen to it, is two of America's Most Wanted. So Amir, you're starting to hear this song, you're listening to this song, what are you thinking?
It's genius. Tupac, Snoop, just starting it off with, you know, ain't nothing but a gangsta party. That simple sentence is just freaking everywhere, dude. Like, I see it as people's Instagram captions whenever they're at a party. I see it in Urban Outfitters for little birthday cards. Just that one little sentence is immortalized. And just to have that throughout the chorus, genius. I really like how Snoop and Pac are both, like, not having full verses, but parts of verses, and going back and forth, and the chemistry is just clearly there.
Right.
And they both have different approaches in a sense, where Tupac is a little more energetic, a little more aggressive, and Snoop's, you know, just more laid back. So I like that a lot. And the video is quite interesting as well. I wonder how people received it in the mid-90s when they saw it, you know, with the skit before, with the Biggie and the Puff, or the Piggy and the Buff. And I just thought that was interesting. And aside from that, anyways, I always thought Tupac's acting was good in it. He's a great actor. But aside from that, the video was badass with the turkey and just the very gangster image, Death Row, and just, I thought that was just iconic, and just their whole outfits. Mm-hmm. But the song, man,
shout out to Daz.
Shout out to Daz.
Phenomenal beat. So
the production is one thing that I just loved it. It was just very dope. It reminds me a little bit of the Dogfather beat as well, the title track Dogfather. Mm-hmm. So Daz killed it. Pac and Snoop were going back and forth. Pac has one line to me that really sticks out, where he says, they say, I can't roll with my Glocks and I got a throwaway. Yeah. And then he's talking about in the Benz, got to do a show a day. I wonder how I live with 5 shots. Brother's hard to kill on my block. It's just so hard, man. And Snoop has some introspective lyricism where he says, we live by the gun, so we die by the gun. He's talking about you work so hard till your hair turn gray. And he's doing some introspective stuff on there too. But they're both really just going back and forth, killing it. Chorus in between. Great stuff.
And I really liked, as you alluded to earlier, the fact that this wasn't, as rap had become so big and increasingly popular as time went on, this album obviously helped with that as well, but rap had gotten to the point where it had become such a business that a lot of songs had become very formulaic as far as song structure, and you know, you'd read about that in the magazines, and at this point I was writing, and so I just started. I'd only been writing for, this was my 3rd year of writing. I started in '94 when I was a teenager. But the thing is, you would hear at the record labels, you'd hear in the magazines or read in the magazines, like, oh, you need songs to be a certain way. And I really love the fact that not only was Two of America's Most Wanted not a certain way, not the traditional song structure with, you know, chorus, 3 verses with the chorus in between them, or some variation of that with the chorus first or not a chorus first, however they did it. That was basically one of the 2 ways that the songs were supposed to be. I just love the fact that this was not 16 lines and then a chorus. It was tag team rapping like we would see with EPMD and others, and I just thought it was amazing that here are 2 guys that are, you know, at the top of the game, that are phenomenal artists, and that are not adhering to what needs to be done according to the rules of rap or of music, pop music at the time. And yet here they are, Snoop and Tupac, doing it at such a high level, and definitely like feeding off each other, and just their contrast in styles was amazing. It's just everything, man. The song was so good, so good. So what did you like about, I know you had talked about some of the things you liked, but specifically, what do you think Snoop did particularly well?
I just think the way that he didn't give into necessarily, I feel like Tupac is a very, someone who can rub off on you a lot, and I just like how Snoop, despite Tupac's more aggressive, energetic approach, Snoop just stayed laid back. I really respect that, and his words and lyrics were also just very dope. That's really what I like the most, just how Snoop maintained composure. And this guy is, you know, there's so much talk about Tupac, but Snoop Dogg is such a freaking superstar. I mean, Doggy Style was, at that point, was probably the biggest debut in rap history.
Well, it was the first album from a debut artist to debut at #1 on the pop charts. So it's the #1 album in the country from a debut artist, which had never happened before in rap, or in music, period, and which by default means also rap. So Snoop was just, you know, Snoop is an icon, and Snoop, you know, he's all in my book, The History of Gangster Rap, and he gave me a nice shout out for it, as well as a great interview, so he's all in the book. But people forget, like, Snoop was, before he became a cultural icon, he was a rap phenomenon that grew and elevated and evolved into what he is now, which is like a multimedia, you know, juggernaut.
Yeah.
And he's a phenomenal artist, and I've gotten to know Snoop and, you know, spent a lot of time with him over the years and working on some stuff with him too. It's just, he's just an amazing dude. Like, he really is astounding. So what about Tupac? What did you like about what Tupac was doing?
Like I've said, his just approach to it, some of his lines are just very gangster, just very straightforward. Also, in this era of death row, I know that he was in the kind of one take aspect where he just wanted to go in the studio, hear the beat, write some stuff quick, and go in the booth and shoot. And I can kind of tell he was just very natural and quick with it, and it's very hard to pull that off. He's just one of those artists with All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli. How he was able to pull those off, I can't. It's just so hard for me to just even imagine it. Which is actually funny because Snoop said that you know, Suge grabbed them, you know, when they were both free, you know, Two Americans Most Wanted, whatever. He said, you guys need to do a song together. And Snoop was like, screw that, I need to go home real quick, write this down and come back. So I thought that was funny, because he knew Tupac was already about, no, we can't overthink it, we just got to do it. So I just think, I can just imagine just the energy of that studio. It had to have been crazy.
Yeah. And I like how Snoop was like, free Tupac, that's all that's on my mind. But, you know, they're trying to take mine. So it's like, it was just amazing how Snoop was able to not only shout out Tupac, but then be like, wait a minute, they're not just after him, they're after me too. Mm-hmm. And I just thought that's one of my favorite parts of the song. And then, as you had mentioned, the live by a gun, die by the gun lyric that he had. So it's just such an amazing song from top to bottom. Daz did a phenomenal job on the production and at the vocals at the end, you know, coming in with Tupac. So, Amir, as we look back at two of America's Most Wanted from All Eyes on Me, who do you think did a better job and why?
It's really close, man. It really is. But for me, I'm going with Tupac. I just love his flow. Also, you know, the music video, I just love how they're both in it just together. I think the song name is just cleverly named, Two of America's Most Wanted, accurate as well. Tupac for me, it's just, I think just Tupac in this era was just so hard to top. Snoop Dogg, like I said, or Snoop Doggy Dogg, like I said, he did excellent. I think he held his ground. I think he stayed in his lane and executed excellently as well. So you can't really go wrong with either. For me, I'm going Tupac.
Well, for me, I'm going to go with Snoop because I thought Snoop's lyrics were more clever, more powerful, more introspective, more reflective, and I thought that they also captured a lot of what was going on in both of their lives in a way that showed Snoop's insight and his perspective, whereas I thought Tupac, who did a similar type of thing, his was much more emotional and rage and just spewing it out, and like you were saying, getting it out of the system, which is super powerful and great also. But I thought Snoop had a different layer to his lyrics and a different depth, and I just thought that was amazing. I thought they, obviously the three main parties involved, and then it was mixed by DJ Quick, but I thought that you know, the three main parties involved, four if you want to add Quick, but with Daz, Snoop, and Tupac, they just, all three of them, I think, did an amazing job on the album, or on the song. But I just gotta go with Snoop because I think his lyrics had a little bit more depth to them, and I liked some of what Pac did better per se, but I just think overall Snoop had a different level of lyricism and thought when you really sit down and think about it. And that's my opinion. But that's my opinion. That's Amir's opinion. Who do you think did a better job on two of America's Most Wanted and why? Hit us up in the comment section. Be sure to like, subscribe, share. Let people know about the Great Debaters. We'll appreciate it. I'm Soren Baker.
Amir, Rahimi.
We'll catch y'all next time. The Great Debaters.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the DOC, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV back with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.